and I just see 10 grand go missing from my account one day. I'm just like, it says withdraw it, and I'm like, what is going on? So,
Speaking of which, I heard you used to live next.
no, we can't talk about where I used to live.
You could just leave right now, and I'd be perfectly fine. For tuning in. Like we announced in the last episode, we are now streaming on all platforms. So wherever you get your podcasts at, make sure that you tune in, hit that subscribe, hit that follow, whatever it is that you do on your platform, and stay along for the journey, man. We've got some dope episodes today, man, or we got a dope episode today, man. As you guys can see, and as you guys can tell by the title, we got the man, the myth, the faceless legend in the building. Preme Hype, man. What's good, man?
What's
How you
up,
doing
man?
today, bro?
Appreciate you having me.
Of course, bro. I'm surprised that you reached out, bro.
I was like, I saw the podcast. I was like, I've never revealed my face online.
Yeah.
And everyone still somehow knows what I look like.
Yeah.
So might as well just go on a podcast because we're launching a YouTube channel next week.
Oh,
with
okay.
Videos. So you guys go check out Preme Hype on YouTube and
Hell
subscribe.
yeah. For sure, man. For sure. Yeah, I was like, whenever you messaged, I was like, what? Preme Hype's gonna? I was like, babe, Preme Hype just said he wanted to get on the episode. She was like, Preme Hype? I'm like, yeah. It's like, I mean, we met and stuff, and we've seen each other a bunch, but like, I've never really seen you be like the very like talkative person. So like how like why what kind of made you want to reach out? Is it just because of the YouTube or like?
I've never been a talkative person business wise, but like when I'm hanging out with other people, like I'm like the loudest one in the room.
Yeah.
I'm like the one that's talking all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, might as well bring my personality into the space of YouTube and show
dope,
my
bro.
business.
Hell yeah, bro. That's what's up, man. That's what's up, bro. So we're just gonna get right on into it, bro. Like, go ahead and pretty much tell the people like who you are, like what you do and stuff.
All right, yeah. My Instagram's Preme Hype, but my real name is Cheyenne. I started selling shoes at the age of 11 or 12, and I'm 19 right now. So I've been in the game for a long time, and I've always loved shoes. I started off because of... When did you get into shoes originally?
Bro, it was like, I mean, I've like always, like you said, always been into shoes and stuff, but like I didn't actually start like reselling and stuff probably until like 2020, like around 2020, like the beginning of 2021, really.
Yeah, what got me into shoes is like the Nike basketball hype.
Yeah,
so
see, I never had that hype.
Oh, you never got into
that? I never got into the Nike basketball.
That's like, I feel like that's what started all my generation.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people like, especially the ones around your age, like that's where they started with.
Yeah, so for me, it started with the KD 4s. Like I would see people at my school wearing them, and I was like the type of kid that my parents would get me one shoe a year. Yeah. Like until like the sole's like destroyed. Yeah. And still would have to probably wear them, but yeah. I would see like everyone wearing the KD 4s, so I was like, I need to get my hands on a pair. So it took like a year, and like my year mark hit, and I got the KD 5s, and then I'm like, I need to start getting nice shoes. So yeah. I mean, I waited patiently till I was like 14, and I had like $40 saved, and at the time, Supreme was the hype. Yeah. Like everyone was buying Supreme, and I hit a box logo for retail during during a test. I pulled out my phone, hit a BOGO for retail, and I think I flipped it for $450. Dang. And then I started just entering raffles and stuff like that, and then
that kind of like fueled the fire right there.
My sneakers account was crazy. Like I would sit in class. There's like 50 people in my class. I would get everyone to enter sneakers for me. And out that 50, maybe 3 or 4 would hit, but be like 4 pairs of Off-Whites. So that was like $3-4 grand right there. And then that money kept flipping and stuff like that.
Did the kids that you ever like that ever hit? Were they ever like, nah, I'm about to sell these?
I still gave them like money on top. Yeah. So like they weren't like at the end of the day, they just wore Vans and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
they didn't even care. Didn't really know.
I'm getting $300. I'm like 15 for doing nothing. Yeah. And they're using my card on it. Yeah. But yeah, that's basically how I started. Yeah, any other?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. So like, also like I wanted to like I've also like kind of noticed, you know what I'm saying? Of course, like you're of different ethnicity. Like what like what's your background, bro?
I'm Pakistani actually.
Oh, okay, got you. So like, did your parents like have they been here all their life, or did they come over? Or?
My parents moved here when they were. My dad moved here when he was like 23. He was actually like, my dad is the reason like I got into business. He came here and he was actually like, he was on the streets like hustling. He worked at a gas station. And he started his own company. He sells textiles and stuff like that. Okay. So I saw him start up his own company. Yeah. And they gave me motivation to start up my own. Like, my parents, they always taught me, like, they're not going to give me anything. Yeah. Like, money-wise. I was financially independent at the age of 13, but they taught me the ways of business.
They taught you how to get money and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And so, that's, go ahead,
not necessarily, like, they never taught me about, like, how to flip shoes, but, like, I would see how they would negotiate, how they work overseas. And, like, ever since I was 8, I would hear them on phone calls, hearing how they did business. So business has been in my blood since I was born.
Yeah, and that's so essential because like kids soak up stuff, bro. Like as a kid, you soak up stuff like a sponge. So like if depending on like your environment, if you grow up in an environment where all you hear is your parents cussing and smoking and drinking and gang banging, or not even doing that, but if all you hear is your parents even just going to work, you know, talking about like, oh, I got to go clock in and the boss wants me to do this, the boss wants me to do that, that's pretty much what you're conditioned to think. But like that's cool that like you as a kid, like you were able to hear your parents like making a way for themselves, doing things for themselves, grinding it out, and that is like kind of what you picked up on and like kind of instilled that self in you as well. That's what's up. So like what was like early life like by the time that you came in the picture? Like had they already been kind of successful?
No, actually it was 5 of us and we lived in like a 2-bedroom house.
Dang, yeah. So there's,
it was like my uncle was living with us. Okay. So yeah, like my parents, they rarely made it out of nothing. Yeah. And it's like impressive that like an immigrant family like that came from nothing essentially started their own company in America, and they're doing great. Right. Yeah. And I work on their marketing and advertising for them. So. Oh,
okay. Yeah. And like, what company does he have now? You say he sells.
It's a textile company, and they
what is textiles exactly?
Textiles. So basically, bed sheets, towels. Like anything cotton, basically. Really? So, yeah. They have a factory in Pakistan, and we sell to every major store in America.
That's crazy, bro. Do you get to like? Do they do like a bunch of business trips? Like, do you get to, like,
they go on them, but I'm like in my own lane essentially, where like I don't want to be like part of my
tied to them.
Yeah, like basically I want them to do their own thing. I don't want to be involved with that, but when I get older, I might get involved in that business side of it. Yeah.
So like, what did they kind of like? I know a lot of times, like, cause my girl is Asian and stuff, and like a lot of times, like when you kind of grow up in those like really like heavily cultured like families and stuff, like they kind of expect a lot from you and stuff. So like, what was that kind of like? What was their kind of expectations for you like growing up and stuff?
So every brown person, basically, their parents want you to be a doctor
or a lawyer or something,
something like that. But I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Yeah. Seeing my parents do that, and I was just like, why work for someone when people can work for you? Yeah. Type thing. And I wanted to always have my own legacy. Right. That's why I never really got involved with my parents' business, because I want to build my own name. But yeah, basically they expected that of me. When I first got into shoes, they were just like, it's not a crazy market, but they didn't really know because they came from Pakistan. Right. All they wear is like random. They don't even have Nikes down there. So, yeah, that's basically. And they started seeing the money movement, and they're like, "Oh, this is good."
So, like at first, they kind of like, did they kind of like and try to get you to like steer away from that, or like kind of focus more on school?
They told me it was like it wasn't like a good business essentially, but they didn't know much, so I don't really blame them for that.
So like what's their like look on it now that like they've seen the kind of market, they've seen the success that you've had?
They're proud of it. They think it's a crazy business. They want to invest their own money into it, but I'm like, you need to just stick to your towel stuff. They're like, wow, like I'm proud of you, because like from when I started, I would probably have, my inventory was $100. Now we have over 500 pairs of shoes. We have every kind. Yeah, and they've heard of me from other people saying their kids buy shoes from me. So they're like, wow, this is crazy.
Did you kind of realize early on, like, do you go to school now, bro? I don't even know.
I'm at the University of Oklahoma right now. I'm a junior.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. What do you study there?
I'm doing entrepreneurship, and then I'm on the path to pre-dental.
And so like, that makes me ask you now, like, is that what you kind of want to do, like, in the future, like 30 years from now? Like, Do you want to still be doing an entrepreneur, or do you kind of
want to do everything?
You want to do a little bit of
everything?
So
I want to own my own practice as a dentist. I want to sell shoes, have an established company, and then carry on my parents' legacy. And then we're involved in jewelry and cars as well. Yeah. And stuff like that. So we've expanded our business quite
so much. Like that, when did the other stuff start to come in? Because I know that you do like the cars and stuff like that.
I would say it was 2018. So I started selling cars. The first car I got, so this is a crazy story. Yeah. I probably had, let's say, 10 grand in the bank account.
From selling sneakers, or
yeah, from selling sneakers, and I'm saving up to get like what was it, BMW M4 at the time. Yeah, and I'm telling my parents like how bad I want this car, and I just see 10 grand go missing from my account one day. I'm just like, it says withdraw it, and I'm like, what is going on? Yeah, and my dad opens the garage. He's like, I got a Honda Civic for you from your bank account. I was like, oh, that's crazy. Because I was like saving up, so I was kind of salty. But then I was like, use my money to get me a car. But what I ended up doing was flipping that car. It was 10 grand. We flipped it into 15, and then we got another BMW after that. 15, sold it at 25, and then we saw like the money coming in from that. Yeah. And I was like, oh. And I've always loved cars. Like,
so how are you flipping these cars though? Like
Facebook Marketplace, Instagram, stuff like that.
I mean, like, did you like do anything to them, or like?
Oh no, we would just like get them from auction, just sell them straight up. Oh, gotcha. But now we moved into exotic cars, so I've had about 3 Nissan GTRs, 7 BMWs so far, and it's only been 2.5 years of just flipping cars. Yeah.
So like, have you always like had like, what kind of got you into cars and stuff?
I've always liked cars. Like, it's just like my thing. Like, honestly, I would say I'm more of a car person than a shoe person. Really? But actually, I don't know. It's pretty tied, but yeah, I like both things a lot. So that's why I like doing both of those things.
So like in the future, whenever you are planning on doing all this, like, how do you plan on like staying sustainable, like with so many different ventures that are like successful? You know, you got cars selling, you got shoes selling, you're going to school to be a dentist, you know, eventually that's probably going to get, you know, pretty vigorous. Like, how do you plan on staying relevant and staying, you know what I'm saying?
So freshman year of college, that's when I kind of took a break from reselling, because I was like exploring a new whole college, like a whole university, meeting new people and stuff like that. And then someone told me I fell off, and that kind of
someone tell me I fell off.
Yeah, that got me pissed. Yeah. So I was like, okay, this is my time. I need to get back, because I was like, oh, I did fall off. Yeah, because like I was selling like 500 pairs of shoes every week. It was like crazy, and then it just went to zero for like 3 months. Yeah, and then that sparked me up. And I have someone that bought from me. I gave him like some money, and then he hit like 300 pairs of Yeezys, and that just kept me going. Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy, bro. But like, so like you kind of getting that college experience now. Like, what's that kind of like? Cause I never went to college, and like I've always wanted to go to college, bro. And like I've super sought, like that's one of the regrets that, like, not really a regret, but just like one of those things in life that I'm like, damn, I really wish I could have had that like college experience. What's that been like for you?
So the college experience, I'm going to be honest, I never really wanted to go to college, but it's like, it was my parents' dream. Yeah. Like, for me to go to college, so I was like, might as well just do it, and then still, you know, carry on my business. Yeah. So yeah, that's what kind of made me go to college, but the experience there, like, I've met great people there. Yeah. I've made friendships I'm going to have for the rest of my life. You know, I mean, but like going to school, it's not that fun, but at the end of the day, having a degree isn't bad. Yeah. Like, if all my businesses fail, which I hope they never do, but I always have something to rely on.
At least to fall back on, yeah.
Something to rely on.
So, like, what kind of student are you? Like, would you say, like, you're academically, like, pretty good? You just don't like doing it, or what?
I wouldn't say I'm the best student, but I'm trying. Like, freshman year, I did not try at all. Yeah. And that kind of hurt me a lot. But I'm trying now. Just trying to be a little better.
That's the thing about school, bro. Especially once you get into like college. Like I said, I never went to college, so I guess I can't really say 100%. But from the people that like I have heard of that I went to college, that's like the main thing. Like, as long as you're like giving it your all, like you know, you really can't. Because when you get to that college level, they don't have to care about you, and they don't care about you. You know what I'm saying? Especially like with somewhere like where you're going, like Oklahoma University, like that's a huge university. You know what I mean? There's so many students there that it's like the kids that want to do right and that want to make it are going to be in class and doing what they need to do, getting their work done. And then the ones that aren't, they're just going to let you fall off. And they're going to keep soaking up that money until, you know what I'm saying, they're tired of it or it's not coming in no more. And then they're going to kick you out the door. And there's nothing to fall back
honestly,
on.
like, there's kids failing, and this school just still wants your money. Like, they're not going to turn down $20K for you to keep coming back.
Right.
So, yeah, you just got to, if you're trying to go to college and you resell shoes, like, honestly, try to balance both things at once. It's pretty hard, but, like, you can honestly shorten your hours. Like, I took 13 hours one semester, 10. So you're just taking 2 classes a day. You have, like, 22 other hours to just, like, chill.
And you said you're already a junior, so like, when did you start going to college? Like, did you graduate early?
No, I'm 19 right now.
Yeah.
And I basically, I guess I was just like enrolled into school pretty early when I was like probably 3 or 4. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that. Like, I was always the youngest in my grade.
Really?
Yeah.
So how old were you when you graduated?
High school I was 17.
Dang, that's crazy. Dang, so like, do you be hanging out with girls and stuff?
Keep that on the low.
Hey, Preme Hype got the honeys. So what is Preme Hype?
We just focus on the business.
Just focus on the business? Yeah, okay. Yeah, all the single ladies, you know what I'm saying, jump in that Preme Hype.
Take it to the game. I'm with the game.
You married to the game right now?
Yeah.
All right.
Only right now.
So what is that focus like? Talk about like that drive. Like, what is that like? What is it that drives you? What is it that fuels you to like keep going, keep being the best, keep going hard? You know what I'm saying? Especially doing it at such a young age.
So, what I think motivates me is like my parents came from nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like if I had something, like I had a background where I had successful parents and I don't make it, like, what am I doing in my life? If they made it from another country and got here, and build a legacy, and I don't do the same thing. Yeah. That's why at the young age, I was like, I have to like make it out. Yeah. Like, not make it out necessarily, but like I have to like build my own name.
Build your own name, do your own thing. Like, not necessarily like live, because I mean, and that's so real because it is such a real thing where a lot of these people that like parents that have done amazing things with their life from nothing, like they get kids, you know what I'm saying, and like their kids end up not even doing nothing, like not necessarily like not doing nothing, but like, because I mean some of them like they may not do nothing, but like they may at least work or have a regular job. They may not be like as successful as their parents or something like that, but like some of them just absolutely like fuck it off, and they're just like completely like lost kids and stuff. So and I think it's kind of a testament to like, you know, kind of how you're raised and like how you're kind of, you know what I'm saying, like what your parents allow and what they give you. So like talk about that. Like, how were your parents? Like, how do you think you were able to get that mentality and not kind of have that like, you know, spoiled mentality where like everything, you know what I'm saying, that you have is, or everything that you want is given to you type of thing? No.
So like I said, like I was financially independent by the age of like 13, 14.
Right.
So it was like, what started for me was like the shoes. So like they gave me 1 shoe a year. Yeah. So I was like, why just have one when I can just buy anything I want? So I was always like, I'm gonna just buy my own stuff, like end up being financially independent. So that's what motivated me. I don't think it was their intention for just getting me 1 pair of shoes a year for me to start reselling shoes, but I feel like there's a reason for everything. Yeah. And like there's boundaries that parents set. Yeah. People set, and then that makes you learn and want to go out and do your own thing. Yeah.
Right. So like you would say that like your parents, like even though they did have the means to do it, like they didn't do it. Like, do you think like you think there was like they didn't give you that stuff or only allowed you to have 1 pair of shoes because they were trying to like teach you to be grateful and to make your own thing for yourself? Or
so they never justified spending like $100 on a pair of shoes. They're like, you can just go to Ross, go get them for $10. That's where I got all my shoes from. Like originally, like when I would go to school, but that's basically it. Like that's what motivated me to go out my own way. It's not like they never wanted to give me anything. Like, right. It's just because like honestly, it was my drive, and I told them I'm like, I'm gonna get it myself instead of you having to do it for me.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, a lot of kids, you know what I'm saying, aren't like that. Like, you know, a lot of kids, especially like if their parents have made a way for themselves, you know, have like, they kind of can take advantage of it, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times it's the parents that usually like will mold them and like kind of shape them put them in the direction of like, yo, look, you're gonna have to work for it and stuff. But that's cool that like you kind of just had that from already, just from a young age. It's just like you just didn't want your parents to like do this stuff for you and stuff. But that leads me to another point, because with that, like, a lot of people they may look at you, and I'm probably sure that you've probably heard like, or like seen about, even if it's not about yourself or about other people that you may know, where it's like, oh, that kid's probably like, parents probably does everything for him, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people know that you're well off, you know what I mean? So like, how do you deal with like people that are saying that, you know what I'm saying? And like, how do you kind of view that situation?
I'm just grateful for my family and my situation, but I would never want to take their money or anything, because that's what they work for. And basically anyone that's known me from a young age knows that I started my own stuff.
Right, and that's not really like your kind of spirit and stuff.
But I don't mind anyone saying that. Like, I totally understand if you think, like, you see a kid that grew up pretty well off, and seeing them start a business, like, of course you would hate. Like, there's no point. Like, I get it.
But in my opinion, bro, like, that's never made sense to me, because at the end of the day, is that not what we want? You know what I mean? Like, for me, like, I want to be able to give my kid a head start. You know what I mean? I don't want my kid to have to worry. Like, I want my kid to be able to sell shoes, make his money, and save his money and do what he wants with it. I don't want my kid to have to sell shoes so that way he can eat tonight, or so that way he can help daddy and mom pay the bills. You know what I mean? Like, I want to have, like, a life to where my kid has the advantages. My kid has a little bit of, you know what I'm saying, head start compared to, like, a lot of other parents that didn't take the time to do that. Like, and I feel like that's the fucking goal. Like, so it always kind of like, it bothers me whenever you do hear people like say things like that about people that, like, especially whenever they don't really know them, you know what I mean? Like, they don't know like what kind of person they are, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if you're like an ungrateful little brat, then, you know what I'm saying, then it don't really matter, you know? But like someone like you know what I'm saying, who you've done it yourself, you know what I'm saying? You've taken your own route. But then you have to have people that like think that like it's all done off like the backs of your mom and dad, whenever really it's been your own.
So what
work.
I think about this whole situation is, if you are parent funded necessarily and you build your own legacy with it, you can thank your parents, but at the end of the day, you're the one that put in the work. I'm not saying that's not my story. I'm talking about for other people that people like talk trash about. But yeah, at the end of the day, there's kids that their parents are millionaires and billionaires, and they're just sleeping in bed all day, not doing anything with their life. But if you're gonna go and make a way out of whatever your parents gave you, and you're gonna start your own business, that's showing improvement, and that you want to work for your own things.
Yeah. So speaking of which, bro, I remember the first time, bro, I ever I sold you a pair of shoes. It was a pair of Travis Scott's.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, bro, and I pulled up, bro. First of all, I think was that the M4 that you had? That blue one?
Oh, yeah, the M3, yeah.
Okay, that was fucking fire. I was like, damn, this motherfucker got a fire-ass car. I was, like, not expecting that. And then we get out there, bro, and you open up a Ziploc bag full of cash, bro. And I know, like, I've never forgot the Ziploc bag of cash, bro. What is up with the Ziploc bag, bro?
Ziploc bag. So, basically, I have it wrapped up in paper.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's discreet, you know.
Okay.
No one can tell it's cash.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I don't know. That's like the way I preserve it.
I got you.
Or I put it in a shoulder bag sometimes.
Yeah. It was like in a bag, and but it was like bag and another bag, and then like at the end of it,
you gotta protect your
Ziploc
riches.
bag, and I'm like, hey, bro's got a Ziploc bag full of cash. Like, that's funny. Like, I just never seen no one like have it like in a Ziploc bag. What did that like? Did that just like what made you like put it in a Ziploc bag like to start with? Or just
I mean, I would have money laying around in my drawer, and then my dad saw it one day. He's like, "Why don't you just put it in a Ziploc bag?" I'm like, that sounds so stupid, but I guess I'll do it. So, I mean, I have a Ziploc bag in my car right now. We can show that to the podcast.
Bro, we could, but it's too far. It's all right, but that's funny. And y'all don't need to know, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I say Ziploc bag, it's only like $20 in there, so don't get no idea.
It's nothing
you know what I'm
much.
saying? Nothing crazy, but so like you said, we talked about like the what else you do besides the sneakers and stuff, but like let's talk about like the cars a little bit more. Like, let's get into that. Like, what's been your best flip so far with the cars?
I can't talk money, but the nicest car. So I started off selling. I started with the Honda, and then I got to a BMW, and then I got to a M4. That's like my end goal, right? And then I was like, I got it for a deal where I paid $34,000 for it, and I drove it for a year. And then someone offered me 36. I'm like, oh, you could drive an exotic car and still make 2K. I mean, 2K isn't like crazy on that amount, but at the end of the day, you used it, drove it like 20,000 miles.
Yeah.
Still making 2K. And then someone in Dallas, they had a Nissan GTR for sale. And that was like my dream car that I never thought I could afford. Like I remember I manifested this car like since I was like 7 or 8. I had pictures of it and I said I'd own this car when I'm 30. So then I saw it for like, it was for sale for like 60 grand. I offered the guy 35 and somehow I ended up buying it for 40, and then I flipped it for a good amount over that.
Dang.
I mean, I'm pretty sure no one's ever heard of a clean title GTR for 40K. Like that was a crazy flip.
Yeah. And so like now, so you got like the sneaker flips and stuff, or like the car flips, but like what was like your best sneaker flip, do you think?
There's been a lot. So if you guys know me on my Instagram, you see like all the expensive crazy shoes like Red Octobers, Air Mags. Like I would say I had the craziest shoes in Oklahoma at the time. Like people would come up to me, they're like, how did you get these? I had like crazy shoes. Craziest flip I had though. So I started selling these grill shoes because I had a client in Houston. He was a size 11 to 12, same size as me. And he would be like, hey, these are like, I need these shoes. He would send me the money and then say, look for them. So I would just like every pair, like the margins were crazy. I was making like $2,000 a pair and selling them like hundreds of pairs. And he ended, I think he bought like, I don't know what happened to him. He just disappeared. But
really?
Yeah, that's how I started. That's basically how I made a lot of my money in the beginning.
What do you think happened to bro?
I don't know. I think someone said like he got cancer or something. I don't know. He never hit me back. But yeah, I hope you're doing good. You know who you are if you're watching this.
What's his name?
Can't say that.
Name drop him.
I can't.
No, I'm just like, no, I'm just messing with you.
But yeah, he was a good guy. Like he let me, like he had a pair of Air Mags and he let me wear them. Like he's like, yeah. It was like, it's my dream shoes. Like just wear them once. I was like, sure.
Like in the house, like where you were?
No, he let me wear them out. He let me wear his Red Octobers class one time. So I wore Red Octobers.
Dang, bro. Did anybody know what you were wearing though? Like,
no, the thing was, I was like, I never really talk. I don't talk about my money to people. I'm like pretty private about that. So that's why I never reveal my face, because I'm like the type to not, show people what I have. But everyone kind of already knows, in a way, because like, one talk leads to another. People just find out stuff like that.
Right. So like, I was gonna ask you about that too. Like, is that why you haven't showed your face? Just because like you just don't want to? Like, what was kind of the whole thing about like never putting your face on the account? And why now? I guess you already answered why now.
Yeah, basically just I didn't want the business to be about me. I just wanted it to just be a business at the end of the day. But now I realize the power of social media and stuff like that. So maybe I want to elevate my business. But yeah, sometimes I get weirded out when people come up to me and ask me questions like super random. And like, how do you know who I am? Like, I'm not like trying to be rude or anything. I just want to know, because like I don't know if I'm getting robbed by you. I don't know anything.
Right. Yeah. Damn, I just kind of lost my train of thought. I was gonna ask. So like that's kind of one of the things that I was wanting to ask you about too. Is whenever you are trying to build a business and stuff, do you think that it is possible to get to like that next level without having like a face of the business?
I mean, if I did it, you could do it.
Well, I mean, like, but I'm talking about like not necessarily. I'm talking like the next level. You know what I mean? Like where now you're like, you're doing millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a full-fledged, you know what I'm saying, like multi-million-dollar. I'm not saying that you're not doing that now, but like you said, you're trying to take your business to the next level. You're trying to elevate. Like, do you think that social media and like putting a face, even if it's not necessarily your face, but a face or some type of like something connection to it, do you think that's essential?
No, not at all.
I know
people that are worth more than any of these people on YouTube posting their face, and they sell shoes bulk to all these stores.
Right.
You guys are never gonna know who they are.
Yeah.
They're making like $50 million a year, easy.
Yeah. Because I always feel like, I don't know, especially like as far as like longevity, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not like a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want necessarily like my face to be out there and stuff like that, or I'm kind of a private person. And I'm like, but I feel like in order to really like, whenever you think about like Walmart or something like that, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you think of like a lot of people, but you still think of like Sam Walton, you know what I mean? Like, or whenever you think of like, just like the biggest names in the market or whatever, you know what I'm saying? There's always like some type of like face or personality or like something, you know what I'm saying, to like go with it. And I feel like that is like an essential part to like basically being like a global brand, you know what I mean? It's like having something to connect to, because if not, then like it's almost like what makes people want to connect with you. You know what I mean? Like, especially now, like for the bulk sellers and stuff, of course, you know what I'm saying? Like the sneaker store owners and stuff know them, you know what I'm saying? The people that are buying, but like somebody knows them, you know what I'm saying? So like I just feel like it's unless you're like a Banksy, you know what I mean? Do you know who Banksy is? Yeah. So unless you're like a Banksy, you know what I'm saying, where like you grow your entire brand off like being the mystery, but like even then, like when you think about Banksy, you think about the mysterious person, you know what I mean? So I just felt like I'm always curious about like if you thought that was needed to like go to the next level, or like why did you kind of feel like, you know, putting your face out there was essential for taking it to the next level?
So everyone, like, I was surprised when everyone knew who I was, but I think it started off from me going to sneaker events, so people just like recognized my face from there, and yeah, that's what kind of like everyone kind of already knew who I was from that alone. But then I was like, if people already know what I look like and who I am, might as well just make a YouTube channel about it.
So you are the real Preme Hype, right?
Yeah, maybe. We never know. But the funny part was, like, everyone thinking it was, like, someone else. Like, it was mysterious at the end of the day.
Bro, that's what I was like.
Like, did you think it was going to be, like, I was going to look like, you thought I was going to be older, right? Like, when you first saw the page.
Yeah, because, I don't know why, but I guess just the name, like, the way that, like, Cheyenne, I was like, that sounds like an older guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it sounds like an older guy's name. So I was definitely expecting you to be, like, 35.
35? That's crazy.
Somewhere around there.
And then
like,
I remember when I was selling shoes when I was younger, I would have Red Octobers when I was like 15. And people would be like, this is crazy.
And you messaged me like on Facebook and then was like, oh yeah, just text me. And I'm like, old head. Got to be an old head. Because like a young guy is just going to message me through Facebook. But I'm like, he's like, text me. And I'm like, he's like, I'm busy. Like, I don't answer a lot on here. Just text me. And I'm like, he must not be like on social media a lot. So he's probably pretty old.
It's just because my social media is like spam with messages. It's just like super hard. Like text message is like the best way to reach me.
Yeah, that's crazy. But so like, all right. So now like you're going through and like you're doing your YouTube. Like, what kind of content are you trying to like bring to the YouTube and stuff?
I want to show them the bulk side of selling. So a lot of people just show individual sales. I want to show them the bulk side of selling to stores, how to do that, and I want to show them how I negotiate. And I don't want to say this, but I feel like I have pretty good prices, pretty competitive compared to them, and everyone's like surprised how I still make money on that. So I'm going to show them how to work with small margins. Yeah. Because I work on really thin margins on shoes. So I'm going to show them that, and then show them how to flip like PEs, grills like that. Because a lot of people just be selling normal dunks on Instagram and YouTube now. So I want to show them the more expensive side of shoes. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's where it like attracts me. And I feel like that's good for viewership because at the end of the day, bro, people want to see people spend money. You know what I mean? Like I think like that's what I've always felt like it's not necessarily an essential thing, but I'm like, man, like if I just had a little bit more money to like show myself spending, my videos would do a lot better just because like people are immediately attracted to that. Like, why do you think that is? Why are people just so attracted to the fancy?
So would you rather be like watch a video of $1 million home or like $100,000 home? At the end of the day, like the more money you spend in your business is going to bring more people. So invest in yourself is basically what I would say. But at the end of the day, we start small and then we're going to build our money. So it's not about what you're doing right now. It's going to be what about you doing in the future.
In the future, yeah, for sure. So like, what do you like? We kind of talked about like what you want to do like forever, but like, whenever you see yourself just like, do you ever see yourself settling down and kind of like only like focusing on one thing, or do you just kind of want to be like all over the place?
I sell watches too.
Yeah.
So I like doing everything. Like it's kind of boring just doing one thing. Yeah. Right. So I like being busy 24/7. Like if I've like the thing about me is like I hate being like by myself for like more like doing nothing for more than like a minute. So I'm always like I have pretty bad ADHD, so I have to be doing something like every second of my life. Yeah. So it's like 1 second I'm texting someone about like a Rolex, other second some Yeezys, and then one person about a car. So like I like having multiple businesses at once.
So what would you be doing if you couldn't do any of those? Like say sneakers fail, cars fail, everything, like nobody's driving no more, no one's buying sneakers, everybody's walking barefoot, nobody cares about the time. What does Preme Hype do?
What I do, I'll always find a way to make it, you know. I'll start my own grocery store or something like that.
Bro said, I'm going to do something to keep myself busy.
I'm always going to be an entrepreneur. No one can take that from me.
I was listening to a podcast the other day with Ice Cube. They said, what do you do like whenever you have nothing to do? And he said, think of more shit to do.
Exactly.
That's funny. So like, how would you describe your personality, bro? Because like we talked about earlier, you know what I'm saying? Like you're kind of more
how
like
would you
reserved.
describe my personality from what you met me?
Bro, definitely like. I was literally sitting here, and first of all, I want to say that you definitely surprised me on the pod, and thank you. Like, you've definitely like answered all the questions well. Like, you gave like full answers because I was nervous, bro. Honestly, like from whenever I've like met you and stuff, like you definitely talk and like you're interactive, but it's usually like short and to the point, and then it's on. You know what I'm saying?
That's what people say about me. I'm pretty short and to the point, but unless you know me super well, like.
Yeah.
People that know me super well in business, like I'm just joking around the whole time. Yeah. I'm just playing around. But if I don't know you like that, like I'm probably just gonna be short to the point.
Short to the point, yeah.
At the end of the day, it's business.
Right.
It's not fun.
Yeah. So I was definitely kind of like, oh man, I feel like, you know, like it might be like I ask him a question, he's gonna be like, oh yeah.
No, I talk a lot.
Yeah.
Like people know me, they're like, he never shuts up. Like,
bro,
I talk every second of the day.
That's literally me, bro. Yeah. Like, how would you describe my personality from whenever you met me?
You're really talkative. Yeah. And like, you know how to interact with people. Well, you're a people's person, just like me.
Yeah.
I'm a really big people's person.
The funny thing is, bro, is I'm great at like interacting with people and talking with people. But honestly, bro, I don't like it, bro.
You don't?
Like I don't like talking to people that I don't want to talk to. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay,
you know
that's
what I mean?
how
Like,
I am. Like, if I don't like you, just get away from me, bro.
Or like, even if I just don't really like know you, like, or like before this, like we know each other, but like we never really knew each other. You know what I'm saying? We've never hung out or anything, but I was still interested to talk to you because I was interested to hear about, you know what I'm saying, your come up and like your story and stuff. So it's like that is something that I want to talk to. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk to this guy, but like, say for instance, because like I work at 10 Toes and stuff, so like sometimes people will come in there and like they'll want to talk, and I'm just like, bro, I could care less about what you're talking about right now. Like, you could just leave right now and I'd be perfectly fine. You know what I mean?
I kind of love talking to people. Like, I want to know about everyone's life, like how they're doing. Like, so when I'm selling shoes, that's like how I make most of my connections. Yeah. So like they see what type of person I am. Yeah. And then they tell their friends about me. Yeah. And that's how I got. I used to sell to celebrities a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that too. Yeah.
Oh,
go ahead, bro. We can go right into it right now.
Let's dive into that.
Yeah, let's dive into that.
Okay. So when I was, I would say, it was like the year. Who's the first celebrity I sold to? Might have to think on that. We can get back to this question. There's like a huge list of celebrities we can talk about.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of started that? Like, what kind of made it kind of?
So I've always been a huge basketball fan. Yeah. Like basketball, shoes, cars. That was my life. So,
speaking of which, I heard you used to live next to.
No, we can't talk about where I used to live. But
okay.
We can't talk about personal stuff. But yeah, I was always into basketball and stuff like that. So we grew up in OKC, seeing the Thunder, and Kevin Durant was here, Russell Westbrook. So I was always like, I wish I could meet them. Yeah. And then I was like, what can I do to meet them? This is before any of these kids were posting pictures selling the shoes, to celebrities and stuff like that. So the first person on the Thunder, his name was Justin Patton. I don't think he's in the league anymore, but I met him, and we always DM with the slogan, hey, do you need a shoe plug? And he was like, yeah, I do need one. And I sold him a pair of Jordan 1s, and I pull up to his house, and we're just talking, and I'm maybe 14, 15 at the time, and he liked my personality a lot. He went to his closet, he's like, take these 3 pairs of shoes for free. Yeah. And then I was like, what? And then he was like, also like, I'll give you tickets to the Thunder game. He gives me he puts my name on the VIP guest list on the Thunder list, and then just got me in. And then I met a lot of people through there. Yeah. Yeah. And then I sold Shea shoes when he moved into Oklahoma for the first time, but I haven't talked to him ever since then. Yeah. And then Josh Giddey's a really good customer of ours. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I've seen you post him a few times and stuff. Yeah. So talk about those relationships and stuff. Like, how are those kind of like how do you treat those people do you kind of treat them a little bit better than your normal customer, or give them a little bit better customer service, a little bit better deals?
I treat every customer with the same respect. Like, if you respect me, I respect you. Right. And if you disrespect me, I'm not going to mess with you anymore.
Right, same.
So, yeah. So yeah, all those people, like, I'm a genuine person, so they see that and they're like, yeah, might as well buy from a kid than a store, right?
Yeah.
That can deliver it straight to them.
Right.
So yeah, and then also like always promote other people's businesses too. It's just not always about you. You know? You gotta support other people too.
So I seen a video the other day, right? And this guy was cutting someone's hair. And right, he was like in the middle of the haircut. Quavo walked in. Yeah. And so he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, bro. Like, you gotta get out the chair. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think I've seen that.
Quavo, like, would you? So like, if say you're like selling someone some shoes, right? You're on the way to a meetup. The person's on the way. Y'all on the way, and then Josh Giddey calls and he's like, "Hey man, I need a pair of shoes before I get ready to go to this basketball game."
I mean, Josh Giddey got my priority. That's like, he's a really good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like, you know what I'm saying, like, because we were kind of talking about it, me and my girl were talking about it, and I was like at first I was like, oh, I don't know, like, that's kind of dirty, you know what I'm saying, but then, like, I was also like, I guess you're right, you know what I'm saying, like, not just, like, on an aspect of, like, this is, you know what I'm saying, like, this person is better than this person.
The thing about me is I always have 3 people out at once that can do something for me. So if that situation happened, I would call my little brother. Yeah. So my little brother, when I'm in Norman, he does all my stuff in OKC for me.
Got you.
So yeah. So I always like have ways to make sure everything works out. So like I wouldn't like, you know, dog on anyone, like let them like, you know, miss out on their pair of shoes. But if it's a time crunch or an NBA player that needs something before the game, I'll make a little wait and then make the other person wait maybe another 20 minutes.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, and then that's what I was like saying, like, or at least you could like, if that were to happen, you know what I'm saying, you could at least like throw the other person like $20 off, $30 off or something, like, sorry for the wait, you know.
Yeah, so one time I had a situation like that happen, and I just made the person go to like a 7-Eleven nearby. Yeah. So I was like, yo, wait an extra 5 minutes. So like that's how I make things work at once. You have to think smarter, not harder.
Right, right. So what has been like one of the biggest people that you've sold to?
There's so many people on this list. Yeah. I don't know who the biggest would be.
Really?
And I can't really talk about some of the names because they don't want to be you know, on this.
For sure. Yeah. Dang. So let me see. What's next for you, bro? Like, what's next for Preme Hype? What's next for like the whole brand? You know what I'm saying? I know you got the YouTube and stuff, but like, what else is Preme Hype getting into? What's Preme Hype getting ready for next?
I've always wanted a store, but I think it's getting so saturated now. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's like, how many stores do you think there are in Oklahoma now? Like, I would say
at
over
least 15
to 20.
Yeah, 15 to 20
so
probably.
It's like, everyone's doing that. And I've always been the type of person to sell to these stores. So I build that connection. I wouldn't want to lose that just by opening my own store up. But I've always wanted to do that. So maybe do something like a pop-up every month or something like that, where it's once a week. Yeah. And we'll see. We'll figure out something.
You gonna start a podcast, bro?
Podcast? Yeah, for sure. I mean, I could talk so much, so I definitely need a podcast.
That's funny, bro. You got any questions for me, bro? Anything you want to ask at all, man?
What do you think about my page the first time you saw it?
I was like, damn, this dude got a lot of followers. But I had already met you like before that. Like, so like I told you the Travises, you know what I'm saying, like before I even knew. So like I had already seen, you know what I'm saying, like the M3, and I'm like, oh, okay, like, so like the followers matched, you know what I'm saying? Like it pretty much just matched. It was like, oh, that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? It definitely gave off vibes that like, this is somebody that has been doing this for a while. You know what I mean? I was definitely like, oh, okay, this dude's big time. I thought you were older than 19.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but not that much older. I thought you were like 20, 21, something like that, 22.
Yeah. A lot of people think I'm like 25. But when I have facial hair, right now I'm just a baby face. Right now, so.
Bro, I remember once, bro, we were playing basketball, bro. Yeah. And this dude, I was killing this dude in basketball, bro, the game. And at the end of the game, he was like, dang, bro. He was like, how old are you? And I was like, I'm only 22, bro. And he said, 22? I thought you was 28, married, 3 kids. I was like, dang, bro, dude gave me a whole life. Like, dang, I know I don't look that old.
People think I'm really old because of how tall I am. Like, I was like 6 foot when I was like, say like 14.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn,
so
bro.
everyone was like, this is like 19, 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang. So did you never get into sports or anything like that?
No, I played basketball and soccer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll always do it. I do a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
what's your favorite sport?
I love basketball.
Basketball?
That's my favorite sport.
So if you could go professional in any sport, that would be what it would be?
Yeah. I always wanted to go professional, but I wasn't that crazy.
Yeah.
My boy Trey's going to the draft. The kid I went to school with, he's going to the draft like next month, I think. So
really?
He gets drafted. Yeah.
That'd be lit, bro.
Yeah, seeing a boy graduate.
Yeah, we were just talking about that at work the other day, like how crazy it would be to like somebody that you've grown up with, you know what I'm saying, that you've been like locked in with, like that's your best friend since like first grade, and like they end up going like first round in the draft, you know what I'm saying, number one pick, like just like the amount of like happiness, you know what I'm saying, like especially if that's like your true homie, you know what I'm saying, like you've known him before he was a star, you know what I'm saying, been rocking with him, like that'd be like crazy to, you know what I'm saying, be along on that journey.
The thing about success and stuff like that is like a lot of people that didn't like you are just gonna start like trying to be friends with you,
right?
And like people that are my age don't understand that, and they don't know how to cut out fake people or notice them at all, And at the end of the day, if you don't know how to decipher that, then you're not smart.
So like, talk about that a little bit. Like, how like have you had like a lot of people like that like try to be cool with you now that like okay they've typed in like they've noticed like oh snap like Cheyenne is Preme Hype is Cheyenne, like this guy is crazy, like have you had a lot of people trying to?
I do small talk with them. Yeah, like, I know what you were looking for at the end goal. You want free shoes or discount,
right?
Or you're just trying to leech off me. So I know how to cut people off. Yeah, but I'm respectful about it. It's not like I'm gonna say it to your face, but I just know like pretty smart about that. So.
Yeah. So also I want to ask you, like, growing up as a brown person here in America and stuff, like, do you deal or have you dealt with like a lot of racism, and like how have you like dealt with that and whenever those situations do occur?
I don't know if I've ever dealt with like racism in the business. Are you talking about business or like
just in personal life?
Oh, in personal life, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
it's just like normal. You know?
Yeah,
I feel like we're like the most attacked race now. Like, that's like talked about pretty racially. Like,
I got you. Dang, man. So yeah, cause like, and I've never like I've always kind of wanted to know like what it is like from other people's perspective, because you know I mean of course being African American, you know what I mean, you're one of the main targets as well. So it's just always kind of like been curious to me, like how other people like do you face it a lot, and like whenever you do, like how have you kind of overcame it and stuff whenever those situations do occur?
Yeah, I'm actually Muslim as well, so like I'm like I have double target now, brown and Muslim. So like. Yeah, people just think I'm automatically a terrorist or something like that. But if you get to know me, you're going to be like, dude, what am I even thinking?
And not only that, but like if you also get to know the religion for itself, you know what I mean? Like I'm not a Muslim, you know what I'm saying? I would say that I practice Christianity, not the most, you know what I'm saying, devout Christian or whatever. I try to do my best, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like I would never like hate someone because of their religion, especially like a lot of these religions that I personally don't know much about, you know what I mean? I don't know much about Muslim, you know what I'm saying, about the Muslim religion. I don't know much about Buddhism or Catholicism or all these other religions, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, who am I to say, to have any opinion or any type of judgmental, you know what I'm saying, opinion about what they practice, as long as they're a good person, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's what it boils down to at the end of the day.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we have our own beliefs, religion, but it's like the person aside from that, And I don't think you should judge. I'm not like the best practicing Muslim either, so like I can't really speak on that, but I've never met, I mean, I'm not gonna like stereotype one culture, race because of one person in that, So it's like kind of stupid, but I feel like people are maturing in Oklahoma. Like, it used to be super racist, but like as time's going on, everything's getting better.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, because like and another thing is like you were saying, like you can't judge a whole religion based off like one person, because every religion has had those radicals, and that's just like the part of life. Like not only religion, you know what I mean, but everything, you know what I'm saying, every belief in life has radicals. People that like believe this stuff so much that they will, you know what I'm saying, like die to get it across, you know what I mean? Like, so, and it's just so crazy because I feel like brown people do get a lot more like attack on that aspect of it, whenever there's been probably just as many crazy ass Christians that make more. Probably even way more that like make these crazy cults that, you know what I'm saying, end up raping children and doing all this other crazy shit in the name of God. And it's like, bro, this ain't no different than anything else that any radical other person is doing.
At the end of the day, they're not listening. They're not following the religion, and they're just doing stuff.
What they want to do under the guise of religion.
But I'm not too educated on this topic to speak more about it. But yeah,
I got you for sure.
What I think.
Yeah, man. That pretty much brings us to the end of this pod anyway, man. I just just had that little tangent, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I be getting off on little tangents and been going crazy. But, yeah, man, that's pretty much going to be, like, the end of what we got for us today, man. I think this camera over here is being weird and not going anyway, so it's all good. But we still got some good footage, man, and I appreciate you coming in today, man. I appreciate you stopping by and shooting with us today, bro.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, bro. And go ahead and shout out all your channels and stuff, and all that shit will be in the description.
Preme Hype on Instagram, Preme_Hype, and then the YouTube channel name's still yet to be decided, but if you follow down there, you'll see a link posted up with the YouTube channel.
Yeah, because it'll probably be it'll be a couple weeks from this day that we're shooting this before the episode comes out. So if you get that channel name or get a link, you know what I'm saying, just send it over to me.
So when is this being uploaded?
Huh?
When is this podcast gonna be uploaded?
Can't tell them, you know what I'm saying? You gotta keep it under wraps, you know what I mean? Sure. But it's coming though, it's coming, you know what I mean? But hey, man, I appreciate y'all watching, man. I appreciate y'all staying subscribed. Make sure that you guys hit that description below and go check out all those links. My boy Preme Hype in the building today, man.
Guys.
It's a wrap.
Appreciate it.
Let's go. Appreciate it, bro.
It's a good podcast.
Yeah, for sure, bro.